possible that you can't even connect to the national grid without having a TIN number. We think some of the problem would have expanded the tax net and everything. And I'm very proud to say that Lagos State, in that regard, is the most well-oiled tax machinery in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa concerning the adoption of technology to improve that particular sector. Having said that, I think the tone of today has been set for our eminent and very erudite. They need no introductions, PhD in 2 places. So I will have to manage their time that they should not go over 7 minutes. So as the saying goes, ladies first, although there's no lady at the back. So Dr. Titi, my dear beloved sister.
Standing on already established protocol, though I like to stand beside it, so I don't break it. Okay, majority of the informal sector players, they are actually outside the tax net. This has been established. And their tax contribution to total government revenue is low as a result of this. However, the level of tax education of the informal sector is also very low. And this can be linked to the low tax paying culture that permeates the country. You know, everywhere we know what's going on. Nobody wants to part with that money. Taxation is technical, but can be made simple for the sake of voluntary tax compliance. And this is one of the objectives of the National Tax Policy 2017, which needs to be actualized as much as possible. And that's simplification of the tax admin process. Lagos has been given a lot of accolade. I know some states are coming after them. And I want to say that we're seeing it work in Lagos. Introduction of presumptive tax regime. This was trying to capture the informal sector. Was to address the unstructured nature of the informal sector. However, this can only be effectively implemented when there's a clearly defined base for application of the tax. The different state tax authorities have devised means for this, but there is the need to move with the tide of time from manual to ICT-driven methodology. The recent amendment to CAMA was a way geared towards simplifying registration process for companies to be able to have more unstructured businesses consider hopping into CAMAnet. However, many informal sector players have still not keyed into this. They still can enjoy the single director and small company definition. This should have made tax revenue generation easy, but we changed the collecting authority from state to federal. So there may be some challenges with that. The cost of compliance in relation to filing CAC documents and tax returns contributes to the informal sector's players deciding to stay within their comfort zone, at least try to minimize their headaches and continue to pay as minimal tax as possible. Thus, the state revenue will have to step up their game to be able to get them to be in the net. Employment opportunities created by the informal sector are also untapped by personal income tax purposes, as majority of the medium, micro, small and medium enterprises are not registered or regulated for tax, neither do their employees, who may most likely be above the tax exemption or minimum tax threshold under personal income tax provisions. Though the informal sector contributes about 48% to Nigeria's GDP and about 60% of employment in the country, the contribution to tax revenue is very low. This cannot be dissociated from low tax-paying culture in the country, which seeks to find answer to the question, what is the need for us? When it comes to tax compliance, this is more from social contract angle. Qualities of the informal sector makes it easier for the micro, small and medium enterprises to be outside the tax net and not visible to the tax authority, especially in relation to easy entry and exit, unregulated and unregistered business, skill acquisition outside the formal education, and so on and so forth. Why do the market women and artisans respond to local government fees, levies, and charges positively, but not willing to part with their money for personal income tax payments? Have we ever imagined this? The reasons cannot be far-fetched. First of all, they will look at the ease of tax collection. They will look at the accessibility of the local government officials to them. They will look at the nearness to the grassroots operations. They will look at simplicity of tax admin system. And if they cannot achieve this, then they will probably want to shy away. Laudable strategies and collaboration embarked upon by the Joint Tax Board would only be able to serve as means for increasing government revenue collection, but be more efficient and effective with the introduction of revenue collection technology to drive the process. There is need to address tax revenue leakages and leveraging on ICT, information and communication technology, would assist with curbing the leakages and simplifying the collection process. Though presumptive tax regime has been provided in Personal Income Tax Act, the challenge of arbitrary tax is over or under assessment and potential tax litigation from disputed assessments. This will further contribute to revenue leakages as the cost of pursuing non-compliance is not recoverable. It is better to have a structured basis for application of presumptive tax regime so that it can be applied properly. For any tax system to be effective, it needs to be stable, predictable, and easy to administer. Also, the tax authority needs to be able to improve efficiency and reduce admin costs in revenue generation and collection for the government by developing an effective revenue collection system. This should achieve the following objectives: raise more revenue, improve internal organization, ensure greater accountability, transparency, and integrity, improve taxpayer compliance, improve service delivery to taxpayers. With the large population of the informal sector and level of employment created, collecting revenue from the sector is an ongoing challenge for government across the states. There is also the demand by taxpayers with the advent of technology for faster, easier, and more transparent services with increased targets, better customer service, and improved value for money. To address these challenges and with recent advances in information and communication technology, there has been a strong drive to use ICT to increase efficient collection of tax revenue. What are the advantages of ICT usage for both tax authority and taxpayers? Number one, ICT can increase services to taxpayers. We have e-services, e-payments, e-filing, and so on and so forth. It makes payment of taxes, fees, etc. simpler, faster, and easier to understand. This makes voluntary compliance easier and more efficient. Secondly, use of ICT presents benefit for revenue functions within the tax authorities, faster processing of information and data, fewer resources required for revenue generation, reduction of cost of collection, increasing transparency, tackling corruption, and reducing opportunities for bribery. Thirdly, use of ICT to compile database of information enables revenue authorities to identify and address non-compliant taxpayers. Fourth, choosing the right ICT solutions for tax revenue is very important because ICT administration is complex, expensive, and realizing the benefits and savings takes time. Simpler, more robust solution will be useful for informal sector. Automated revenue collection system, that's the fifth point, phase out manual systems of collection. Positive effect of ICT on revenue generation. It contributes to proper management of revenue sources, reduce cost of tax administration, increase efficiency in revenue collection. An administration that uses ITC-based information system, such as cashless payment, mobile money, direct bank transfer, direct bank deposit, e-transfers, is stronger than the manual process. Revenue collection system for informal sector to tackle the gap, to bridge the gap between taxes owned and taxes collected. There's need for usefulness of technology and in terms of self-service to promote voluntary compliance. Thirdly, deployment of high-value analytics through the use of geographic information to uncover, track, analyze, and address non-compliance quickly and effectively. Other advantages is the leveraging of data to research and improve compliance measures and better customize taxpayer services. Fourth, the development of sophisticated data tracking system to detect delinquency, underpayment, fraud, and corruption. Fifth, to develop incentives to encourage compliance. There should be fewer form filling, which are easier to complete. Sixth, provide training to build awareness of benefits and employee confidence in using new systems. And this is within the tax authorities. There must be that confidence. This is critical to the success of any ICT development. Sixth, communication, campaigns, and training for users to ensure their understanding and acceptance of that ICT solution is also very important. Next is multiple mediums and publicity events for taxpayers' education. And lastly is the use of website, mails, text messages on changes of benefits to taxpayers. This is to be able to reach the taxpayers without them necessarily coming to the tax office. Permit me to say that with what we currently have in the tax authorities, it's easier to get this done when we are able to have data and track data and analyze data and use this data to get to know those who are out and those who need to be in. In conclusion, expectations from ICT-driven tax admin, such a computerization, will yield benefits of efficiency and transparency over whatever current paper-based or manual-based. And this is designed to limit and constrain corruption and increase tax revenue. I think with this made simple, the informal sector should be able to come into the net. Thank you very much.
It is not by, like they say in our local parlance, that it is not beans. It is not moment to be a PhD holder. So, Dr. Titi Fowokan, I will try to summarize what she has said under 4 major polarities. She discussed the paper coming from another angle, bringing statistics into it and try to see that a lot of people, in simple language, are still outside the tax net, and that's the bane of the society. She compared tax to GDP. We are number 1 from the back. Nigerian tax to GDP is about 6%. Even the African 30 average is 16.6, I guess. For the Latin American and Caribbean countries, is about 18% or so, 21%. And for the OECD, that's about 30% average. So if Nigeria is 6%, we should know that too much of the economic activity is outside the tax net. She justified that by going to the social contract theory, that our right to live in the society, in any modern society, is by surrendering individual liberties and submission to compulsory payment of taxes. So people naturally and necessarily, for the society to survive, must come under the tax net. She tried, on the 3rd point, to establish a nexus that the way forward is to establish a nexus between technology and ease of bringing those people outside the tax net into the tax net.